If you like the huge, punchy sounding drum production found on records of the past decade, and you want those kind of kits on your Roland TD-50 drum module, the eDrum Workshop Powerful and Punchy pack is for you. Check these out. Welcome back to the eDrum Workshop. I'm Luke and I hope you're having a great day. If you want to stay up to date with all things electronic and hybrid drums, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Today I'm going to talk you through my new kit pack for the Roland TD-50. Powerful and punchy. It's based on modern drum production, huge sounding powerful kits that punch their way through a mix. The pack consists of 5 kits, plus some bonus snares off instrument kits. The idea behind this pack and the kits in it is to sound like you're playing on a record. These are fully produced and mixed kits. The ambience levels are matched to the source material I used to create the kits when you have the fader set at 0 dB. You can add more to this by going up to plus 6 dB, or you can bring it right down to get a more behind the kit style sound. These snares off kits are identical to the originals, save for the snare being a matched snares off variation. These kits make use of user samples on the snare drum. These are samples taken from snare drums in my own collection, recorded at studios recently. And of course, unfortunately, these kits only work for the Roland TD-50 module. I'll be releasing a similar pack on the Pearl Mimic Pro very soon, but for the time being, I don't have other modules available to create kits for. You can pick it up now if you like how it sounds from the eDrum Workshop store. That's the eDrumWorkshop.com, and the pack comes as a zip file containing all of the files and instructions on installation. There's also some notes on each kit for their intended uses and things that you can do with them. Each of the kits are available to buy individually, but of course if you buy them as a pack it's much better value. So let's jump over to the kit and I'll show you how these sound. So this first kit is called the Don. It's modelled on the drum production of albums like Technology by Don Broco, Brain Pain by 4 Years Strong, and some of the newer poppier tracks from Bring Me the Horizon. It's effectively a heavy pop rock kit, so it can be used in quite a wide range of contexts. It features a hard-hitting snare, a punchy kick, quite low toms with a reasonable amount of attack, a cymbal set with hats, 2 crashes, a crashable ride, a splash and a china on the AUX pads, and the remaining 2 AUX pads contain a clap and finger snap on one pad, and a cowbell with a tip and edge on the other. I loosely based the setup on Don Broco drummer Matt Donnelly's Natal kit, but I fleshed it out with a couple of extra matching toms, and the percussion is to represent his SPD-SX in his setup. They're also some of the most commonly used percussion and sound effects in pop rock music these days. So let's hear how it sounds. So overall, a big kit with plenty of room ambience and reverb. It'll fit in well with most styles of modern rock music, with the ambience and cymbal levels mixed to taste. Next up, Peripheral. This kit is for that modern progressive metal djent kind of style. The general kit setup is inspired by Periphery drummer Matt Halpern's kit from the album Periphery 4 Hail Stan. It also sounds quite like recent albums from bands like Tesseract, but again it's a pretty versatile kit. The characteristic sound of this kit is that poppy but shotgun-like snare. It sounds reasonably high tuned, but it still packs a big punch. The kick is low and punchy, but it has a high-end slap like a lot of metal kicks do. The toms are low and beefy, and the cymbal set is quite dark. I used Matt Halpern's Meinl cymbal setup as the basis for these. So we've got 2 crashes, a crashable ride, 2 splash cymbals, a stack and a china. And here's how it sounds. Large reverb, crazy crack on that snare. It took me quite a while to dial this one in, so I hope you enjoy it. Kit number 3 of this pack is something quite different. It's called Drynosaur. It's the worst pun in the world, and I apologise, but I had to go with it. The distinct thing about this kit is that huge doesn't necessarily mean full of reverb and ambience. This is a pretty dry sounding kit, but it still packs a huge modern punch. It's based around the sounds of bands like Dinosaur Pile Up with their album Celebrity Mansions, Pulled Apart by Horses, Blood, some tracks by Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. This dry, upfront sound has come back into fashion quite a bit over the past few years, so I felt like it needed some representation in this pack. Once again, there's low tunings across the board with the kick and toms that don't sustain for too long, but the snare is also pretty low too, and it packs a big wallop. The cymbal set is one that I devised to match the tone of the kit with the sheen kinda taken off them. So you've got a reasonably dark sounding set of hats, 2 crashes, a crashable ride, a splash, china and additional crash on the aux pads, along with a cowbell to boot. Here's how it sounds. Kit number 4, LowEveryTime, brings back that big reverb and room sound, with ridiculously low tunings throughout based on the Every Time I Die album, Low Teens. Other albums used for reference were Parkway Drive, Reverence, and the He Is Legend album, White Bat. That's all reasonably in sort of metalcore territory, but once again, this kit isn't limited to only those genres. When I first heard the drum production on that Every Time I Die album, the drum production, and well, the production of pretty much everything else on the record too, was so low and weighty that I really wanted to try and replicate that myself if I could. So we're going low all round here. You've got a big fat kick, a low tuned snare that still cracks enough on the top end to cut through, 4 very deep toms, dark cymbals from the hats to the 2 crashes to the pingy ride, and all of the auxiliary pads are cymbals too, a splash, 2 chinas and an additional crash. This kit suits everything from metal and thrash to even standard rock. If you want thundering lows without a poppy snare getting in the way, then this kit's for you. As you can see, it's incredibly weighty but still very usable and versatile. And the final kit of the pack is Pop Punk 2020. This kit is a sort of all-purpose pop-punk style kit that I've modelled on records from the past 10 years or so. There were a few different directions I could have gone with the kick drum and the snare drum, but I decided to base them on Living Proof by State Champs. The snare drum on that album had a bit more of a ringy sort of feel than anything else that this pack was offering, but it still pops and really sits well within the context of this kit. The tom tunings are based on the general sort of mid-low sound that a lot of pop-punk records have had recently, and the cymbal set is pretty bright. So you've got bright hats, crashes and ride, and the auxiliary pads consist of an additional crash, a splash cymbal and a china, and an auxiliary hi-hat with a tambourine layered on it. Tambourine loops over hi-hat seem to be quite a recurring theme on a lot of the records I listen to, especially the tracks that were singles, so I felt like this was a natural fit. So let's take a listen. So I hope you enjoyed the kits on offer. Of course, they don't only work in the context that I've shown them in. You'll be surprised at how similar the drum production has been across different genres in the past 10 to 20 years. So they're on the eDrumworkshop.com. The pack is available for £18, which is about €20 or $22 at this moment in time. You get all 5 kits and the 3 snares off kits that I've shown off. You could also purchase them individually for £4 or £5 with the snares off variation included, which works out somewhere around €4.50 or $5 or about €5.70 or $6.15 at this moment in time respectively. I'll still be creating tutorials alongside the store, so don't worry, they won't be going anywhere. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe and hit the bell if you want any other electronic drum related content. And also let me know what you think of these kits too. Enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!